Okay, now do you guys know how multiple games out there have friendly fire mode in them? See, ideally you want to keep that setting off, but there are times where friendly fire can be quite a lot of fun. And that's exactly the case when you compare the POCO X5 Pro with the Redmi Note 12 Pro. See, they both come from the same house as Xiaomi and they're both competing for the title of the best phone under Rs 25,000. And the fact of the matter is that both of them have a lot of common features in them. So which of these devices is the right pick for you? Well, that's what we'll be answering in today's video. This is Varun from GTR and you're watching my in-depth comparison of the Redmi Note 12 Pro versus the POCO X5 Pro. Let's get started. Okay, so right off the bat, let's get the common factors out first, shall we? Both the phones come with the same design, have roughly the same weight, and come with the same IP53 dust and splash resistance. Both are equally good in the hand, and you can choose the look that you prefer. Next up, as for the display, both the devices come with a 6.67-inch AMOLED 120Hz Full HD panel, along with Gorilla Glass 5 protection. The panel is vibrant, smooth to use, and offers great outdoor legibility. Although the colors are a tad bit more saturated on the POCO X5 Pro, but it's a very slight difference. Now, along with that, for content consumption, you get support for HDR10+ with wideband L1 and Dolby Vision on both, and aiding the display are the stereo speakers that sound quite crisp and loud. And of course, both the devices also have the 3.5 headphone jack. Then there's the battery. 5000 mAh with 67 watt of fast charging, the same on both. In fact, even the battery life is the same, with both phones easily lasting a day of heavy use and, if need be, can be used for 1.5 days with medium usage. So, with the common factors out of the way, let's talk about the more realistic and the more compelling factors which will basically determine your purchase decision, which are basically the cameras and the performance. So let's just start by talking about the cameras first. The POCO X5 Pro comes with a 108MP primary sensor, while the Redmi Note 12 Pro comes with a 50MP shooter. Other than that, they both have the same 8MP ultra-wide shooter and a 2MP macro sensor, coupled with a 16MP shooter for selfies. Now, while the numbers might lean in favor of the POCO X5 Pro, keep in mind that the 50MP sensor here has OIS as well, while the 108MP sensor does not. Now, this inclusion of optical image stabilization should work very well to reduce camera shake and should ideally result in better low light performance along with more stable videos. But that's the observation on paper. Realistically, well, let's take a look, starting off with low light camera samples themselves. Here, as you can see, Redmi definitely has better illumination along with more details. Now, I say more details because you get proper details, unlike POCO, which relies more on over-sharpening and as a result makes the grains more visible too. Also, Redmi's OIS comes in handy for shooting in night mode since the camera is able to survive some slight hand movement. As for the POCO X5 Pro, you need to keep your hand completely steady for the best results. Now, moving on to daylight shots, both phones have a good amount of detailing in them. Sure, POCO has a tad bit of over-sharpening here, but Redmi shots are more vibrant and consistent. And again, by vibrant, I mean in a good way, because POCO is just adding a lot of saturation here. The HDR results do vary in the sense that Redmi goes for a realistic approach by boosting the shadows while still maintaining the highlights. On the other hand, POCO prefers to have a contrasty and vibrant shot at the cost of the shadows. Now, as far as human shots and portraits go, both are equally good. But if I still had to pick one, I would slide with the Redmi here, since it offers slightly better skin tones too. See, on the whole, the Redmi Note 12 Pro offers a more reliable and consistent camera performance that maintains color tones, offers good details, and has a balanced HDR. POCO's camera, on the other hand, is good for the shot that you directly share on social media without having to do any editing. But personally speaking, I think I would easily slide with the Redmi Note 12 Pro's camera here. Also, speaking of the Redmi Note 12's camera, here's a slight trick for you guys. Apart from the normal watermark that you see on your screen, Redmi also has a professional-like watermark setting that you can enable from inside the camera settings. Now, personally, I really like it since it makes the shot look a bit better, and at the same time, the watermark does not come into the frame or your subject. Okay, so that was the camera department. Now let's talk about performance. The Redmi Note 12 Pro comes with a MediaTek Dimensity 1080 processor, while the POCO X5 Pro features the Snapragon 778G processor. They are both based on a 6nm architecture and they both come with UFS 2.2 storage. Now, interestingly, while the software is the same on both, the Redmi Note 12 Pro comes with a high performance mode inside the battery settings, while the POCO X5 Pro misses out on it. Now the benchmarks are on your screen, and as you can see, despite not having a high performance mode, the POCO X5 Pro performs better than the Redmi Note 12 Pro. Especially for Antutu, while the overall scores aren't that far apart, the CPU and GPU scores are massively in favor of POCO. The 778G also has better multi-core performance as well. Now, as for CPU throttling, while both phones perform very well, notice how POCO has much better average scores in comparison. And the same goes for gaming too. See, while both the phones support games at the same settings, the POCO X5 Pro manages to perform better for a sustained period, while the Redmi Note 12 Pro does exhibit slight stutters after about 40 to 50 minutes of gameplay. So yeah, as far as the performance factor is concerned, the POCO X5 Pro is the way to go for. And that kind of makes sense considering the POCO X5 Pro is basically the Redmi Note 12 Pro Speed Edition, but in POCO's colors. Not that I'm complaining. And that's basically the whole point. See, apart from the common factors, your purchase decision should depend on whether you value the camera more or you value the performance more. Now, even if you say that you value the camera more, it's not to say that the POCO's camera is bad, it's just that the Redmi Note 12 Pro's camera is much better. And the same can be said in terms of performance too. The Dimensity 1080 is a very capable processor, but the Snapdragon 778G still manages to outperform it. So for 25,000, the Redmi Note 12 Pro definitely caters to people who value the camera performance more, while the POCO X5 Pro is aimed towards the performance enthusiasts, while also allowing you to save a couple of bucks. So, which device will you be going for? Let us know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, then make sure to subscribe to our channel for more awesome tech content. Till then, this is Van from GTR, and I'll see you in the next one.